Hello everyone, it's Dynamite Man ZGI coming at you with a new segment that I like to call the Boss List. Title name still in working progress. Okay, so anyway, I was recently appointed co-administrator of a Facebook group called Nerd Power. And what I've been doing lately is that I've been posting a series of boss trivia, boss stuff with a link description. Usually I write an article on it. In this case, I'm going to be making a video on it. What I'm going to do in this video is that I'm going to talk for about 5-10 minutes about this boss that I have in mind. And then I will probably just end up closing it off from there. Give my opinions, of course, like I always do. Okay, so anyway, today's boss is a very common boss in the Legend of Zelda series, actually. Uh, Known none other than Moldorm. This particular boss fight that I'm thinking of, actually, though, is specifically in the A Link to the Past. Is in A Link to the Past. Yeah, there we go, something like that. Okay, so Moldorm is the third boss in A Link to the Past in the Light World, actually. The holder of the Pendant of Wisdom, I do believe. And quite possibly one of the most annoying bosses known to mankind. Anyone who's ever played A Link to the Past knows that Moldorm is incredibly painful to destroy. He is, there are no real required items to defeat Moldorm, actually. The only required weapon that you need is Link's sword and the ability to spin flash. Now, this is probably one of the more interesting boss fights of all because, well, of course, everyone knows that a specific item is needed to defeat the enemy of a dungeon. You have Bongo Bongo and the arrows. Big Lawrence really helps with him. Hook shot with Morpha. The ball and chain for the boss of Snow Mountain Temple and Twilight Princess. What else? Fire arrows to awaken Got. And of course, the go-around roll ability with tons and tons of magic. Etc., etc. I could go on and on. But with Moldorm, it's a little bit different. The item of the Death Mountain Palace, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, is not an item that is used in battle. It's actually an item that actually helps Link to travel between the light and dark worlds. After acquiring the magic mirror, Link finds himself on top of Death Mountain, lifts up a rock, and finds himself in the dark world. What happens is that he finds that his body has been changed to something that reflects his inner heart, in this case a rabbit, because there's something innocent and cuddly about Link. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so the Moon Pearl essentially helps Link to maintain his human form and enables him to fight in the Dark World. It's not really an item that is used for this particular dungeon. So when fighting Moldorm, the basic layout of the battlefield, I suppose you could call it, is a towering room with a ledge on the end and an arena with holes all around it. Essentially, this gives Moldorm the upper hand, seeing that he's a giant worm that kind of slithers about the arena. He only has one weak point. That weak point is the tip of his tail. Link can slash the tip of his tail, and Moldorm curls up and um, excuse me, Link curls up, or Moldorm curls up and attempts to move faster with each succeeding hit. Um, the problem is with each as Moldorm gradually becomes faster and faster, it ups the chance that he will bump Link over the edge and down to the floor below. Every single time that Link falls to the ledge below, he loses half a heart, and upon re-entering the arena where Moldorm's lair, he finds that he must fight or begin the fight anew. That means that all of Moldorm's HP, hit points, life bar, whatever you want to call it, is replenished. So yeah, little bit of an annoyance. A tip for people who have trouble with this fight: the spin slash does wonders. It helps drastically. What happens is that if Moldorm attempts to knock Link off the ledge, what the player wants to do is charge up a spin slash and at least attempt to hit his tail or any part of him. That the player will never fall off if there's a spin slash in the process. Now, I'm going to the latter half of this video, and then I'm going to wrap things up from here. I wish I had known that strategy when I was a kid growing up. A Link to the Past is probably, I've mentioned before that it's by far one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games of all time. It's the first one I've ever really remember playing, etc., etc. But essentially, one of the fights that I've always had trouble with was the Moldorm fight. It's one of those fights that you don't want to deal with. Bombs don't help. Nothing really helps with anything. It's like, what do I do? Gather as many fairies as you can and hope for the best. That's what I always thought. And, that was always like my strategy going into this sort of thing. And apparently I'm heading backwards now. The one problem that I guess I can also point out about this particular dungeon is that because there's no required item to defeat Moldorm, it's easy to miss the Moon Pearl and just completely forget about it. There's always, that chance that you might just completely skip it and disregard it altogether. That's my kind of advice for this, is once you get the third pendant, you're free to do whatever you want. Gather heart pieces, things like that. Prepare for, to draw the Master Sword, because once you draw the Master Sword, the mission is to basically head back to Hyrule Castle and stop Aghanim from going into, opening the door to the Golden Land and corrupting it. So yeah, once you do that, you're pretty much stuck in the Dark World. Well, actually, you're not really stuck, but you can't really do too much if you don't have the Moon Pearl. So yeah, don't forget the Moon Pearl, and follow that advice on the spin attack, because it works wonders on saving your skin and holding that onto that ledge, I suppose. I guess that's what I'm kind of going for here. So that's Moldorm in a nutshell. I think it's like 6 hits with the spin slash, 5-6 hits, and he curls up and blows up to smithereens, leaving you a heart container to pick up, and the pendant drops from the sky. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Alright, so I guess that wraps everything up. So I guess if you like this part, rate, comment, subscribe, and see what it responds. Do whatever the hell you want. It's been done on DGI, and I'll see you guys later.